Hi, good morning. It's Friday, May Day. I'm out here gathering petition signatures. I'm in front of London Terrace again, and I'm handing out flyers that show that Trump is going to end Section 8. And over here, our incumbent, Erik Bottcher, wants to end Section 9 public housing. So one MAGA billionaire over here wants to end Section 8. And the MAGA billionaire acolytes or supporters, sycophant, wants to end Section 8 housing. Section 9 housing. So that's why we call it a duopoly, because both political parties support Wall Street. Both political parties are supported by the same extremist billionaires and their Project 2025 agenda to end public housing. Yesterday I went by the LGBT community center. I had to go visit a friend in a hospital, and I ran into some friends over there, and they weren't too happy to see me. They were very uncomfortable. I was making them uncomfortable. I didn't say nothing. I said nothing. I said, "How are you doing? A mutual friend of ours wants to contact you. We were talking about getting together." And one particular friend one friend in particular was made very uncomfortable. And I had tried to reach out to him. He pretended he didn't know that I reached out, but I know that he knows. So he was basically lying to me, and I just pretended like he wasn't lying. And the reality is that when you're talking about issues like public housing and you're raising the social issue of racism, people get uncomfortable. You know, white people get uncomfortable, and unfortunately, what can we do about it except try to talk it through? But some people don't. Some people don't want to talk about racism. They don't want to talk about ending public housing. They just want to talk about supporting Erik Bottcher just because he's gay, just because he worked for Corey Johnson, just because he worked for Andrew Cuomo, just because he worked for Christine Quinn. They think that he's okay. But the reality is, since 1992, when Tom Dwayne won this district for the first time, the West Village, Chelsea, and Hell's Kitchenette, we've been faced with a nonstop housing crisis. This has been going on forever in New York, since at least the 1980s, when Tama Janowitz wrote her book Slaves of New York. What we're talking about here is a rent situation. That's what it's been like for decades now, and since at least 1992, in this district, right here in this district, the LGBTQ incumbent hasn't done nothing to address the housing crisis. Absolutely nothing. They've appeased Rebney. They've appeased the Partnership for New York City. They've appeased A Better New York, which I refer to as A Bitter New York. That's the group that's run by William Rudin, and one of the oligarchs of New York City. You just have to look him up. He's the one who called in the mortgage that led to the bankruptcy filing, closure, and demolition of St. Vincent's Hospital. It doesn't require mastering rocket science to see what's going on in New York City. It doesn't. It just takes being politically active. It just means being civically engaged. It means watching the elections. It means voting. It means showing up to town halls. It means questioning your elected officials. That's what's required.
Can I see what you're saying about Erik Bottcher?
I'm making a video, but sure.
I just want to see what...
Well, hello, how are you doing?
No, I know.
I know.
I don't want to be on a video.
Okay, so he doesn't want to be in a video, but he cares about what Erik Bottcher is doing, and but he runs away the minute you try to put him on camera. So I'll do a screenshot and put that on social media later. But this is what I'm talking about.
Seriously, why do white people get so nervous when you talk about racism?
One of my friends was helping me collect ballot petition signatures the other day, and we had a white man tell him, "Fuck you." Right to his face, "Fuck you." I was shocked. I was there, I heard it. I couldn't believe it. But in this district, you have racists. You really do. And that's the underlying situation that no one wants to talk about. That explains a lot about why we live in a housing crisis. That explains a lot about why we have an affordability crisis. About why the social safety net keeps getting shredded every budget year after every budget year. Every fiscal year after every fiscal year, the social safety net keeps getting shredded in New York City, in New York State. Yes, in Washington, D.C., we have Trump as the MAGA president, but in New York, the Democrats are in charge. It's the Democrats who are in charge in New York. It's the Democrats. From Kathy Hochul to Eric Adams to Erik Bottcher. That's who's in charge. Every fiscal year after every fiscal year, the social safety net keeps getting shredded. 1 year after another, 1 year after another. In this district, we saw the Democrats close down St. Vincent's Hospital. I was there in the community board hearings. I was there in community board 2 when Brad Hoylman was chair of community board 2. At the same time, he worked as general counsel for the Partnership for New York City. I was there when Brad Hoylman said, if we needed a full-service hospital after they closed St. Vincent's and converted it to a $1 billion luxury condominium and townhouse complex, Brad Hoylman said we can go cross town to Beth Israel Hospital if we needed a full-service hospital. Well, now the Democrats closing, the same Democrats who closed St. Vincent's Hospital, they closed Beth Israel Hospital. That wasn't Donald Trump. That wasn't J.D. Vance. That wasn't Betsy DeVos. That was the Democrats in New York City. It was the Democrats in New York City who did that. They closed St. Vincent's. They closed Beth Israel Hospital. Now, they want to close public housing. They want to close it down, shut it down, demolish it, turn it over to MAGA billionaire Stephen Ross. Again, this is an extended video. I'm sorry I'm ranting and raving. It's May Day, Friday morning. I'm outside of London Terrace in Chelsea. I'm supposed to be collecting ballot petition signatures, but I guess this video was overdue for me to be going on like this. The reality is, in New York, we're dealing with Democrats. We're dealing with Democrats who appease Donald Trump. Democrats like, over here, let's see if I get this angle right, Erik Bottcher. Erik Bottcher is appeasing Donald Trump. Donald Trump wants to end Section 8 public housing, and Erik Bottcher wants to end Section 9 public housing. And together, they're getting together, they're banding together to end public housing, to fulfill on the Project 2025 initiative to shred the social safety net. Imagine the Democrats working with the Republicans to shred the social safety net. They want to get rid of public housing. They want to get rid of public housing. I know that that's a very simple statement, but in this district, people don't care. And a lot of the people who don't care are whites who are very comfortable. They don't live in public housing, and to them, they're indifferent. They're indifferent to the suffering of average people, and they become indifferent because the Democratic Party has said, they've said, get the fuck out of here with your talk about the collective. They said, fuck out of here with your talk about the community. It's every man for himself. It's social Darwinism. It's economic Darwinism. And the reason for this is because we're in end-stage capitalism. We're in end-stage climate change. So the reason why all of a sudden both the Democrats and the Republicans are underpinning a system of government that looks like blatant kleptocracy, where the insiders take and take and take. It's because we're facing a future of scarcity. We're facing a future of scarcity. They see the Democrats, everyone sees the Democrats shredding the social safety net in New York every budget year after every budget year. They see the Democrats closing hospitals. They see the Democrats defunding public housing. Every fiscal year after every fiscal year, the Democrats are shredding the social safety net. So in Washington, of course, Trump and J.D. Vance and everyone else, they want to do the same thing. They want to do the same thing. Michael Johnson, the Speaker of the House, they're inspired. They're inspired by how the Democrats have gotten away with shredding the social safety net in New York. They really are inspired. They've been touched. They've been moved by how the people don't do nothing. The voters don't do nothing. They absolutely don't do nothing about the Democrats shredding the social safety net. The voters do nothing. They're very calm. They roll over and take it. They're very, they're placated. The Democrats have found a way to placate them with legalizing marijuana, all these other things, whatever. And there's a false sense of security right now. Look, there goes an ambulance. There goes an ambulance. I don't know. Sorry, it's very loud. I'm on the street. I don't know what hospital that ambulance is going to. There's no hospital in this neighborhood. So who knows where that ambulance is going? I hope whoever had a heart attack or whatever, I hope they get to the emergency room on time. We should actually legitimately pray that they get to the emergency room on time, because it's a life and death situation out here, and it's just I predict that we're basically in a ticking time bomb situation right now, because people haven't opened their eyes. People haven't opened their eyes to what's happening. And the reality is, because there's so much selfishness, people feel like it doesn't affect them. Like that white guy who just came by here about Erik Bottcher. He wanted to find out what I was handing out, but he wouldn't talk on video. He's not affected. It's 12 o'clock in the middle of the day. He's running around. I guess he doesn't have a day job. Maybe he has a night job. I don't know. Maybe he works from home. Who knows? But obviously he lives a very comfortable life. He's roaming around. He's not in an office job. He's not tied to a blue-collar job, as far as I know. Anyway, he's obviously in some form of comfort where he doesn't feel like the collapse of public housing affects him. He must have, for now, good health so that the closure of Beth Israel Hospital doesn't affect him. And he feels comfortable with President Trump unwinding the civil rights unit within the Department of Justice. It doesn't affect him. He's not looking at the impact on society. He's not looking on the impact in this district, much less on his block. We're on 23rd Street and 9th Avenue in front of London Terrace, and it's not affecting him. It's not affecting him. And there's a lot of voters like that here. He's one kind of voter that I've been running into while I collect ballot petition signatures. The other kind of voter is someone who is just has got no information about what's going on, even though they are affected. There are a lot of people who are being affected by by the Democrats shredding the social safety net, and by Republicans who are decimating the government and basically selling it for parts. But before Donald Trump got into that business, before Elon Musk got into that business, before Doge got into that business, the Democrats did it. They did it with the Burger Commission. They did it with the New York Medicaid redesign team. You're going to have to look those up. If you know what they are, that's a bonus point for you. If you don't, you're going to have to Google all of this. Look up the Burger Commission, which is responsible for hospital closures in New York City and New York State. Excuse me. Look up the New York Medicaid redesign team, which was appointed and impaneled and formed by Andrew Cuomo, who's now running for mayor. All of these people are responsible for shredding the social safety net. It's May Day. I'm out here trying to collect ballot petitions. I've gone on way too long. This video is now over 15 minutes. And I'm not collecting my signatures like I should be. So I'm going to end the video shortly. But I just want you to know that I just want one more time, I want to remind you. Donald Trump wants to end Section 8 public housing. Donald Trump wants to end Section 8 public housing. And Erik Bottcher doesn't want to be left out. Erik Bottcher feels like you only live once. He feels left out. He wants to get in on ending Section 9 public housing. Trump wants to end Section 8. Erik Bottcher wants to end Section 9 public housing. This is why we call it a duopoly. So I just wanted to make a May Day video about the duopoly, focusing basically on Trump wanting to end Section 8 vouchers, wanting to end Section 8 rental assistance, and Erik Bottcher wanting to end Section 9 public housing. Together, they're banding together to fulfill on their Project 2025 agenda of ending public housing. We're in a housing crisis, and the Democrats are working hand in hand with the Republicans to end public housing. I'm out here in Chelsea, where Erik Bottcher plans to demolish all of Fulton houses, over 1,000 apartments in Fulton houses, over 1,000 apartments in or about 1,000 apartments at Elliott Chelsea, a public housing development complex a couple blocks away north from here. There's two public housing complexes that they want to demolish. They want to raze to the ground, and they want to turn it all over to a MAGA billionaire donor named Stephen Ross. It's May Day, and I'm the only one out here trying to bring awareness to how the Democrats are working hand in hand with the Republicans every fiscal year after every fiscal year to shred the social safety net. And I believe that we're creating a ticking time bomb situation, because once people figure it out, I believe that they're going to go gangsta on the Democratic Party. This video is paid for by Louis Flores 2025.